Good morning. I've told you about the dry garden, and I made some mistakes, some new mistakes and some old mistakes. First of all, this is, the old mistakes. And I've told people not to do this because it is a lesson that I have learned over and over and over again, and I still do the same thing. In adapting plants to a new environment, you want to take one item at a time. So if you're adapting plants to new soil, adapt them to the new soil. If you're adapting plants to pour water, adapt them to pour water. Do not, in most cases, try to adapt them to new soil, new environment, pour water, and everything else all at the same time, which, I tend to do this. So these plants, these seeds, I've told you before, there was corn, beans, and squash all through here. From the edge of the tree, where you can see it down there, down to the edge of the tree down here. And I planted, a couple hundred seeds. So that is the old lesson learned, which I did it again. Another one, what I should have done was continue to water these and let them adapt to the soil this year and then start to work on other things in the following years. I didn't. So there are a couple of plants that are still alive. Most of them are struggling. I'll show you the other one in a minute. Most of what came up, the corn came up, the beans came up, the squash came up, no problems, and then all the corn died, and then all the beans died, and then all the squash died. So what I should have done was plant them in the soil and keep them watered, and then start working on drought tolerance next year. I mean, even if I just kept them watered, just watered them once a week, a little bit, that would be better than nothing. But I didn't. I decided to not water them at all. So in essence, I was working on heat and drought and poor soil and new soil all at the same time. Big mistake there. And I've told other people not to do it that way, but I still fall into that same trap. The other thing was that immediately after I planted these, we ended up with 100+ degree temperatures. So the plants that had survived immediately keeled over. Now here you can see a few. Let's see if I can find it. That is our surviving corn plant right there. As far as I can see, it's the only corn plant that has survived to this point. But it has survived, so yesterday I put leaves around it. I'm trying to get wood chips, but I haven't been able to find anybody who's willing to deliver wood chips. So I'm going to need to take garbage bags over to and see if I can get bags of wood chips from the electric company, but we'll see on that. Anyway, that seems to be our only corn plant that has survived. And then these, which really, really sad plants, but those are squash. And I think yesterday there were a couple of beans through here. This one was a corn plant. I don't think it's surviving, but there are a couple of beans right there. And then you get to the surprise survivor. No problems. He's got his secondary leaves, not showing any signs of stress, drought stress. So I am going to change my structure and water these a little bit this summer, the survivors, anything that survives. I am going to also put in other plants. What I'm going to do with the rest of this area is put in tepary beans. I'll talk about soil in another video, but I think the tepary beans, since they are drought tolerant, extremely drought tolerant, to the point where they don't thrive if they have too much water, I think they will probably do better through here than most of the others. But like I said, they're already adapted to drought, so it would only be, the only thing that they would be adapting to is really the new soil. But we got 100+ degree temperatures, extremely high temperatures, right after I planted. All the plants came up and then this heat wave hit. So that is our survivor. It's actually doing pretty well. I watered it maybe a quart this morning. We'll see how it does. Because once plants have adapted to a lack of water, sometimes they don't do very well when they are watered. So I just need to keep an eye on this and see what survives. If none of these survive, I will go ahead and plant tepary beans all along here and get some more seeds for them, some seeds that are adapted to this soil. I'm hoping that corn plant survives. We'll see. But yeah, mistakes upon mistakes upon mistakes. And like I said before, this is all a learning thing. So, and I don't know why I have to learn the same mistakes over and over and over again, but I do. I will talk with you later.